Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
Brian Held, how the hell are you, buddy?
I am excited.
You're excited?
And
for what?
proud to announce that our chief librarian and my dear and lovely wife is now a published author.
Shut the front door.
Yes. So Matahari, Agent H21, Eye of Dawn, from Pro Se Press is now available on Amazon, and she is one of the many talented authors in this Matahari anthology.
Nice.
So
that's awesome. All right, well, let's lay out the show real quick. As always, we'll open up with top nerd news, and then we have our boy Skungy, or Brian's boy Skungy, with his pick of the week. And then we have a guest, Brian.
Yes, we do. Miss Kim Wilkins, award-winning author of Daughters of the Storm, is with us today.
And then, as always, we'll close out the show with a segment we like to call This Week in Geek History. But let's get this show on the road. And now, your top nerd news stories around the world. Brian, what's topping us off today?
Well, what did you want to talk about first? Let's talk about Terry Goodkind, because I think that's pretty crazy. If you don't know, he's part of the Sword of Truth series. That's his whole series. And he was given the cover artwork from his publisher, and he was a little bit put out about it. Now, one thing, a reasonable individual would go back to their publisher or talk to the artist and say, hey, this is not what I'm looking for. But instead, he took to Twitter, blasted the artist all over the place.
What is wrong with him?
Yeah. Well, now it takes another turn. Of course, he has since apologized to the artist for his posting.
Oh, well, that was nice of him.
But now he's saying that he didn't like it because he thought that the cover was too sexist.
You know, that's what boggles the brain. I'm looking at the cover, and, maybe her footwear was a bit suspect. I mean, I don't know if I want to go trekking across the globe wearing high-heel boots, but there was nothing that even screamed what sex she was except for her hair. You know, that the armor she wore didn't have those stupid boob plates. It was literally just leather armor. I mean, there was nothing sexualized about it. I mean, like, even her stance wasn't like, her stance looked like she was about to, like, chop off the head of one of those statue things that was right in front of her, you know?
Right. Well, and the heels weren't even like those 6-inch stiletto type deals.
Yeah, right. They weren't hooker boots.
Right.
I mean,
right.
That's what you call them.
You know, as far as I understand, the model who was posing for the artwork had heels on, like modest heels.
Okay.
So it's not completely unbelievable. I know one of the ladies who was on set with us on Hopeless wore heels the entire time.
Man.
Oh, yeah. She was running through the sand on the
in
bank.
heels?
In heels.
That's skill.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Skill.
So, I mean, I saw it in action. It's not impossible, but I think this guy's grasping at straws.
I think that the biggest problem is that, if he really truly had an issue and wasn't trying to just make a big statement like look how cool I am, how woke I am, that he was literally just you could have easily just contacted your publisher and publisher alone, or sent out a message to the artist to be like, hey, you know what? I like all this, but, let's take the hooker boots off.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is that? But he did a poll.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I think he did more to damage his reputation, but his little tirade than
Terry Goodkind. It's like, he's no Terry Pratchett, but he is, pretty big deal. So, I mean, he's got a lot of
pretty big deal.
Well, was. Did you say people were burning his books?
Well, I was exaggerating. But,
oh, okay. Well, I was just curious because, actually, I wanted to talk about Fahrenheit 451.
Oh.
It's a good segue. Here, take a listen to this trailer real quick.
Have you ever seen a physical book before? Do you want to know what's inside? Insanity. Chaos.
By the time you guys grow up, there won't be one book left.
Yes, sir!
knowledge is a dangerous thing. News, facts, memoirs, internetable. Burn it. We are not born equal, so we must be made equal by the fire. I want to burn.
So the guy right at the end, that's Michael B. Jordan, Eric Killmonger from Black Panther.
Yeah.
And the other guy you heard talking is, what's his name? Michael Shannon. He played Zod in the new Superman. He's done a bunch of other stuff. I like him as an actor. This looks actually pretty good. I mean, it's going to show up on HBO. I don't know if they had a date. I did not see the date where it was coming out. I think
So
May is maybe.
Yeah, we'll look it up in a second.
Either which way, though, they've had other Fahrenheit 451 movies before.
1966.
That was the last one?
Yes, I'm looking it up right now to see this, but yeah.
But I mean, this actually looks pretty good. It was really kind of crazy. We talk about books on this show all the time.
Absolutely.
And it's almost kind of terrifying. Like I don't throw books away. Like I give them away. Like I cannot make myself put a book in the garbage. Even some of the Katrina books that got all messed up, I still ended up like giving them away and not throwing them away. But the kids, the indoctrination of those kids, when you get to be my age, you'll never see a real book. Books have ideas. I mean, it's really disturbing and awesome at the same time. I mean, I think this will probably be a pretty good movie.
It sort of reminds me a little bit of Equilibrium. Do you remember that one? Because that one was the same thing about essentially indoctrinating the kids and bringing them into the fold. But and this has been a while since I've looked at this, isn't the whole deal that there's sort of like these hobos that live on the outskirts of humanity who retain the knowledge of all the books in their heads?
I don't remember. That's horrible. I don't remember. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I read it in high school, so it's been a while. So that's why I'm kind of jazzed to see it, because I don't feel like going and reading it again.
Yeah, no, and
we got too many damn books right now as it is.
Oh, you're right, and it looks like all I can find is the spring is when it's coming out, but it looks interesting, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So another movie that's coming out that I'm actually really jazzed about is Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
2. He breaks the internet. Here, take a listen.
And we are online.
We are going to the internet!
Super excited. Just one minor thing. What is the internet?
You're a winner!
Really?
These 10 child stars went to prison. Number 6 will amaze you.
That sounds interesting.
Ralph, come on!
The pancake thing is great.
Milkshake.
On my way, kids.
Pancake. Milkshake. Milkshake. I'm starting to understand why people like this game. Very zen. Milkshake.
Hey, look what I found! More pancakes!
Let's speed it up. Pancake, 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 pancake. Eat, little buddy. Eat.
Ralph, you might want to try feeding the kitty for a little while.
No, the kitty gets the milkshake. The bunny gets the pancake.
Buddy.
That's why I want to see that movie.
Just for that? Wait, and the first thing I thought was Mr. Creosote. I can't eat another bite.
Yes.
I can't eat another bite. That poor little bunny pops. The girl's traumatized forever.
Yeah. No, I love the first Wreck-It Ralph. It was very good.
It really was funny. It looks like most of the cast is back. John C. Reilly is voicing Ralph. Sarah Silverman is Vanellope. Jane Lynch coming back. And Jack McBayer, Felix, Fix-a-Felix. I love that dude. He is the best. He's the most awkward, weird little dude. Like in Talladega Nights.
Right.
They're like he died fixing this car. Oh, I see him right there. Hi. So this actually looks fun. I really enjoyed the first one too. Yeah, I mean it sure as hell ain't going to be no emoji movie.
Yes.
They're not going into the internet and they're going to, shill for every possible app that you can find on a phone.
Right.
You see a big prominent IMDb thing in the background, but for the most part, they just use it as a storytelling device. Not a cheap reason to shill for something.
Yeah, and that's November 21st is when it's coming out.
Ooh, Thanksgiving. Cool.
I know.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Star Wars Rebels, man.
All right.
The show is coming to a close. They're going to do a 3 episodes back to back, so it's going to be like a big movie event, and
right?
Culminating the end of the season. But in a previous episode, everything that happens on Rebel is canon.
Yes.
So they introduced basically a time machine.
Right.
And Ezra was able to save Ahsoka fighting Darth Vader. And so this is the first time they've ever done any sort of time travel in Star Wars at all. It's not like Star Trek where they constantly break the time continuum. Hey, just shotgun around slingshot around the moon, and we'll go back and save the whales.
Right.
I'm not sure what they were trying to accomplish with this, but I mean, it got supposedly destroyed at the end where the temple sinks.
But Ahsoka's still saved.
Yeah.
So how cool would it be if in episode 9 we got Ahsoka?
Wow.
That would be awesome.
There's no telling what they plan on doing because, I mean, we have 2 new properties in the Star Wars world coming out with the guys from Game of Thrones, the other guy,
right?
What's his nuts? I can't remember his name. And then they're going to wrap up the Skywalker trilogy or whatever, the storylines. But I mean, they've already done the Rebels in The Force Awakens. They had the ship in the background, and they paged General what's her name,
right?
The Twi'lek.
Right.
And,
well, I think have they really learned anything? Like, I get it. I understand what they've done with 7 and 8.
Yeah.
And they're not bowing to pressure from anyone. They're going to tell the story as they want it to. I get that, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not as up in arms as some about it. I didn't like 7 as much as 8. Right, 8 was better, but I still like Rogue One the best out of all the new stuff.
Yeah, right. That one reminds me more of like Empire Strikes Back because it ended on such a down note. That's what life is—a series of down endings. All Jedi had was a bunch of Muppets.
Well, and I mean, but what I'm saying is, have they learned that they need some more fan service to kind of get this stuff going? I mean, there's so much stuff out there to pull from that's already been established in the Star Wars universe. Let's kind of start bringing that stuff to the forefront and tell those stories.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think they're probably going to be doing that, but I think they've been kind of using Rebels as a starting point. Like you say that horrible word reboot, but when they got rid of the Legends and all the book series, they had to reintroduce canon. So they've been using Rebels to kind of sprinkle little ideas, like planting little seeds that will eventually grow into some of the movies or plot lines that we'll see up on the big screen, which, I'm all for.
Right.
All right. Avengers.
So, I want to bring something up real quick. Okay. You just said life is a series of down notes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
Kevin Smith almost died.
Yes.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah.
I know he had a heart attack, man. It's crazy.
He did, but so you can relate to that.
I can.
Because you had a heart attack, but apparently he feels much like you did after the episode where he was saved, and now his body is suddenly flooded with oxygen and blood that wasn't getting to places.
Yep.
And he thinks that he's on borrowed time at this point, is trying to do all the things now, which I think is cool. You know, he wants to get that last Jay and Silent Bob movie out. So
good luck on that one.
Right.
All right, so Avengers, they pushed back the date to what, April 27th?
April 27th. 1 week. We're going to get it earlier now. And I'm excited. I think that's fantastic. There was some concern about another movie that's coming around.
Really? What?
In that time frame.
What the hell would they have to be worried about?
Well, tell me about your concerns there. You were concerned about...
Oh, well, I mean, the NFL draft is that weekend, and some of these are region-specific for us here in New Orleans. It's the first weekend of Jazz Fest. It's the first weekend of the Zurich Classic, which is a pretty big deal. And then, the NFL draft, April 27th, that Thursday, is the first round of the draft pick. But now that I say all that, I really don't think it's going to have much of an impact on the Avengers. It's just that I just found it odd because there's so many things going on that weekend here in our area.
So here's the thing, is that Deadpool 2 comes out on May 18th.
Wow.
And then Solo, a Star Wars story, comes out a week after that.
Wow.
So now they're just tripping on themselves with all these great new movies.
That's nuts. It's not competition from anyone else. It's competition from themselves.
Essentially, yes.
Wow.
Right. So,
I would have never seen that coming in a million years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that'll be a great 2-month span for us.
Oh, it will.
Also, Chandler Riggs, Carl from The Walking Dead, he's dead. They actually killed him in this episode. That happened Sunday. Coral's gone. Oh, well. So, all right, guys, you are what?
Do we want to mention anything about May 4th?
I don't know, do we?
Well, guys, put May 4th on your calendar. Dave and I are planning something absolutely spectacular. As soon as we get all the details, we're going to let you know. But just go ahead and mark that off as, I've got plans tonight.
What day is that? Is that a Friday?
It's a Friday,
May 4th. So May the 4th. Yeah. Free up your schedule, guys. It's going to be a hoot and a nanny.
Nice. All right, guys, when we get back, we're going to bring on our boy Skungy and his pick of the week. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
CypherCon, Lake Charles, Louisiana's premier pop culture convention, returns to the Lake Charles Civic Center April 6th through the 8th. Celebrity guests include Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13, Gigi Edgley from Farscape, and so many more. Concerts, gaming, panels, vendors, an artist alley, charity auction, fan party, cosplay contest, and a Friday night pub crawl. For more information, go to CypherCon.org. That's CypherCon.org. CypherCon, April 6th through the 8th at the Lake Charles Civic Center.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
Are you looking for a unique gift or geeky item? Then look no further than Silverblatt Design. They offer unparalleled etched logos in glass or stainless steel from your favorite fandoms. Silverblatt Design etches on pint glasses, tumblers, shot glasses, flasks, and more. Having trouble finding a particular logo? Silverblatt Design does custom work and gets you exactly what you're looking for. Professional attitude, great customer service, and high-quality products are available now at Silverblatt Design. Find them on Facebook or Etsy and place your order today.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktieTans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
This March 16th through the 18th, CoastCon marks its 41st annual science fiction, fantasy, and gaming convention in Mississippi's Gulf Coast Coliseum in Biloxi. CoastCon is the longest-running and largest convention in Mississippi. Enjoy 3 days of gaming, costumes, shopping, and guest panels with such amazing guests like Bryce Papenbrook from Attack on Titan and New York Times bestselling author Sherilyn Kenyon of the Dark Hunters series. For more information, go to coastcon.org or check out their Facebook page. CoastCon, March 16th through the 18th. Don't miss it.
This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now.
Inconceivable!
Follow The Week in Geek on Instagram at The Week in Geek Radio Show.
Ha-ha, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
Here's David and Brian.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This show's D Squared with
Brian Held.
Hey, Brian, it's my favorite part of the show. Do you know what part that is?
That would be Skungy and his pick of the week.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo! Skungy, what's shaking bacon?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we today?
We're super fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Yay!
All right, man. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Fortnite. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did do a review on PUBG, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knew about the alternative to PUBG, which is Fortnite.
Okay.
Now, Fortnite is a game that came out actually a little while ago, and it's been in like pre-alpha for a while. Now, Fortnite was a game that was a player versus environment game, kind of like a horde mode from like Gears of War, where you have waves of enemies coming at you, and you build the thing that made it different. You build these defenses, like you build a house to protect the lasers and everything like that.
Minecraft meets zombie mode.
Exactly, like Minecraft meets zombie mode. So now here's the thing: the guys who made the game looked at that and saw what was going on with PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battleground, and said, you know what, we could do that as well. And they added a Battle Royale mode into the game.
Nice.
So you have the same thing, basically hide and seek the video game. You get dropped on an island, the maps start shrinking more and more and more, and eventually you start killing each other. But the thing that Fortnite's, I think, better at than PlayerUnknown is you can build defenses. So if somebody's shooting at you, you can literally build walls up and protect yourself.
All right.
Interesting. Now,
so you go into the environment, like you chop down cars or trees and everything to get yourself building materials to make these forts. Hence the name Fortnite.
Right.
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Fortnite pass up PlayerUnknown's Battleground, like with more players or attention or whatever?
Absolutely. Yes, it is. And here's the reason why. Fortnite, number one, is available both on PlayStation and Xbox and PC. Mm-hmm. And the Battle Royale mode, which is not the horde mode, basically. The Battle Royale mode is free.
Ooh,
nice.
I like free.
Yeah. Okay.
It's free to play, and the only thing you're going to pay for are like skins and stuff like that. You could be like John Wick or like Star-Lord, stuff like that.
There's no gambling involved in this game where I have to worry about my kids gambling with loot boxes? Okay, good.
No. So it is a fantastically fun game that everybody has been clamoring over. I mean, people are going nuts over this game. I mean, I've been talking to people, and they're like, man, my wife hates me because all I play is this game. That's all I play. Like, kids are like, this is all they're playing. And it's just a lot of fun, I think it's a lot more accessible than PlayerUnknown, and it's a lot less hardcore than PlayerUnknown. PlayerUnknown's got that kind of like, people are really good at it. This one's got a lot more lighthearted to it. The graphics of it are a lot more, family friendly. It's just overall, it seems like a lighter, harder game.
Okay, cool. So you already gave us the platforms. What's the price?
Like I said, it's free. Now you can. Right. Now, if you want to
forget that,
if you want to, though, now the player versus environment mode, the horde mode, that you have to pay for. But for the multiplayer mode, which is the reason everybody plays it, that's absolutely free.
All right. So then begs the question: how much is the environment mode you mentioned?
That one it starts with the founder pack, and I believe that's $30 for the founder pack.
Man,
to start.
Oh, that's not bad.
Go from free to 30.
Well,
free to 30 in 6.2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, and of course, cosmetic microtransactions.
You don't need it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, speaking of which, talking about microtransactions, there was another thing I wanted to touch on. The ESRB, the Electronic Rating Software Board, who make all the ratings for the games, the E, the T, all that kind of stuff, they are putting on the back of they are making it where now on, going forward, games on the back of the case are going to put on microtransactions to let you know that there are microtransactions available for these games.
Wow.
So a parent or anybody who is making a purchase will know that, hey, there are microtransactions involved, so you might wind up spending more money on this game. It starts a whole other debate now.
I don't know. Look, honestly, we're always we're not always doing it on this show, but, like government overreach or regulations and stuff like that. I think with this, it's not really a bad thing. They're not saying that, beware. They're just putting it in there. So that way, most parents probably have their credit card information on a console. So, if you know that it's in there, you're going to tell your kid, hey, don't you dare buy anything,
Right. Well,
and a parent.
Well, just to point out, the ESRB is not a government organization. It is a self-regulated organization to prevent the government from involving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to prevent the government from getting involved in video game rating.
So I wonder if this is a situation where, you do have that Hawaiian senator or House representative who was trying to propose legislation against the loot boxes and all this kind of stuff. And maybe this is just an example of the industry regulating itself.
It's just like the ingredients see, the nutritional facts on Cheetos. We know there's no nutrition in there, but it's there.
Yeah.
Just in case you want to know.
Well, the thing that a lot of people were worried about is that there's already a limited amount of space on the back of the disc, on the back of the case as well, with legal information and copyright and stuff like that. They're like, where are they going to put it? So they sparked up a lot of debate. So it's going to be interesting to look at this in the coming months.
All right.
I'm sure we could come up with something. Yeah. Watch them do extra fold-out packages or something in there on the cardboard box.
All right. Skungy, what are our standings for the Overwatch League?
All right, well, New York Excelsior is still on the top at 12-2. Seoul Dynasty is right behind them at 11-3, and they were undefeated this week, by the way.
Wow.
London Spitfire is at third with 10-4. Fourth is the Valiant at 10-4. The Outlaws are 9-5.
Oh man.
The Fusion are 9-5. The Boston Uprising is 7-7. The Gladiators are 6-8. Dallas Fuel is 5-9, and then we start getting to the bottom of the barrel with the Frisco Shock, 4-10. Florida Mayhem still at 1-13, and once again, the Shanghai Destiny at 0-14.
Oh, gosh. I'm a little sad that my Outlaws are 5 now, man.
Oh,
they got to come.
Yeah, but you know what? There's still a lot of time, and you know what? They're technically they're in the playoffs, all right? Because the top two, it's the top six teams that qualify for the playoffs. The top seed in each division gets a first round bye, and then the next 4 teams will advance to the playoffs. So right now they're in the playoffs.
All right. Well, that's good.
That'll work.
Yep.
All right, Skungy. Well, thanks, pal. You were a fountain of knowledge, man. You did
thank
good.
you.
All right.
Yay!
Yeah, you're fired. Go away.
Love you, Skungy.
Y'all too. Later, guys.
All right, guys, stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek. When we get back, we have an interview, right, Brian?
Yes, we're going to be talking with Miss Kim Wilkins, award-winning authors of Daughters of the Storm. So stay tuned, guys. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
CypherCon, Lake Charles, Louisiana's premier pop culture convention, returns to the Lake Charles Civic Center April 6th through the 8th. Celebrity guests include Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13, Gigi Edgley from Farscape, and so many more. Concerts, gaming, panels, vendors, an artist alley, charity auction, fan party, cosplay contest, and a Friday night pub crawl. For more information, go to CypherCon.org. That's CypherCon.org. CypherCon, April 6th through the 8th at the Lake Charles Civic Center.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Belle Chase Highway today.
Are you looking for a unique gift or geeky item? Then look no further than Silverblatt Design. They offer unparalleled etched logos in glass or stainless steel from your favorite fandoms. Silverblatt Design etches on pint glasses, tumblers, shot glasses, flasks, and more. Having trouble finding a particular logo? Silverblatt Design does custom work and gets you exactly what you're looking for. Professional attitude, great customer service, and high-quality products are available now at Silverblatt Design. Find them on Facebook or Etsy and place your order today. The 41st Annual Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Gaming Convention, CoastCon, is happening this March 16th through the 18th in the Gulf Coast Coliseum in Biloxi. CoastCon is the longest running and largest convention in Mississippi. Enjoy 3 days of gaming, costumes, shopping, and guest panels with such amazing guests like Bryce Papenbrook from Attack on Titan and New York Times bestselling author Sherilyn Kenyon of the Dark Hunters series. For more information, go to coastcon.org or check out their Facebook page. CoastCon, March 16th through the 18th. Don't miss it.
This is Captain Rex, troopers, and you're listening to The Week in Geek. Now move out.
This is Brian Held with the Week in Geek radio show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, and I'm joined by award-winning author Kim Wilkins. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
And we appreciate you so much, calling in all the way from Queensland, Australia.
Yes, it's a very long way.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, you have a new book that's coming out. We're going to get into this, but I want to ask you a very important question because I know that we have a lot of aspiring writers and writers who listen to our interviews, and you do so much. You're a professor, you're a parent, and you do a lot of different things. So how do you find the time to do all of that and write?
There's a secret. You have to stay off the internet. I mean, basically that's it, right? So if you just delete all your social media accounts, try not to be on the internet too much, you get all this extra time. It's pretty wonderful.
Okay. That's pretty solid advice there. Now, speaking of writing, you have 30 books to your name. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
And yet you're still, a lot of people look for the desire to just like say write full time, but you're still a professor. You're still teaching writing, correct?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people who say they write full time, yeah, absolutely. There are people who write full time because they're so very successful. But a lot of people who say they write full time, maybe they write full time because their husband is a stockbroker or something like that. And I have a habit of marrying young, handsome ne'er-do-wells. So,
fair enough.
So I have to keep working. But there is I did go through a period before I had kids where I could write full time for a while. And I did it for about 6 months. And I just really hated it because I write first thing in the morning. So I'd be finished by breakfast. And then I'd have this long, long day to fill. It was kind of created this existential dread. So work is good. It gives you dignity and purpose.
Absolutely. If you're not busy, you're not doing it right, huh?
Correct.
All right. So we got an advanced reader copy of Daughters of the Storm. That's going to be on newsstands March 6th. Tell me about this book for our listeners.
Well, it's about 5 daughters. It's a fantasy novel, I guess what you would call an epic or high fantasy novel. It's about 5 daughters of a tribal king or a tribal warlord who calls himself a king. And they're all different types of characters. Some of them like each other, some of them don't like each other, but they all have to work together to solve a problem, which is that their father's been he's been cursed by bad magic, and they have to find a solution to that to stabilize their kingdom. So it really gave me the opportunity to write about 5 very different types of women. One is a warrior, one is a mage, and the others have varying levels of interest in other things, politics and religion and so on. Part of the fun of the book was just imagining what they would do in certain scenarios, given what they liked, what they didn't like about the others, how they might react. It was a lot of fun.
And is this a departure from your normal writing that you do?
Well, I've written lots of different things. So I started out writing kind of urban fantasy. So a couple of my urban fantasy novels were published stateside. I want to say the early 2000s. But I've also written for children, and I also write under a pseudonym. I write sort of historical adventure novels for women. But I think probably the thing that is coherent across my body of work is that I am interested in past and the sort of mythical past in a way. I am very interested in women's lives and women's agency, what women will do if you give them a very big problem to solve.
Okay. No, that's fair. We're looking at Daughters of the Storm. We have these archetypes here. Is part of the goal to get strong female characters out here into the world as inspiration to your readers?
Well, if that is what happens, that's great. But I really just do it to entertain myself. Like when I was 14 and I read Lord of the Rings, right? So it's one of my favorite books, Lord of the Rings.
Right.
When I was 15 and I read it, because there were no women in it, I just imagined that Merry and Pippin were girls. Okay. And it makes total sense. The whole book makes total sense with Merry and Pippin female, right? So I don't see any reason why women can't go on these adventures. Sometimes people are fond of telling me, women can't lift those heavy swords. And I sort of think, well, dragons aren't real either. And we put them in books.
Right.
And, also it means, for example, the character in Bluebell, her name is, my character who leads an army. She's big, she's tall, and she's grisly, and she's ugly because she's been smashed in the face too many times with shields and so on. So I just tried to imagine what that character would look like if she were real. And there are other women in the army. There's not as many, simply because, the women, like real women, aren't necessarily as strong as men unless they work really hard at it or have a particular physique. So I just tried to make that real. And I guess the problem with the quote unquote strong female character is that often for some people that just means putting a woman in a male role. But I think what a strong female character really is one who's complex and flawed and difficult and makes stupid choices sometimes and makes really good choices other times. I think that male characters have always been able to be complex like that. They've been able to be unlikable. They've been able to be, think about someone like Sherlock Holmes. Right. What a character. Female characters seem just a little more circumscribed in terms of what they can do in books. So I thought, 5 female characters gives me plenty to explore. Certainly because there are another couple of books behind this one in the series, or coming up, I should say. And there's even more female characters. Why not?
Absolutely. No,
half the world. Why not?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. Half the world is female. Absolutely. Now, I was going to ask, if I'm not mistaken, this book has already been in print in Australia for a while, right?
Yeah, the first book, Daughters of the Storm, and the second book, Sisters of the Fire, are already in the wild in Australia. What you get in the United States, though, is the amazing editorial ability of the team at Del Rey. So it is slightly different from the Australian version. There's a little bit of reordering and a bit of strengthening and around the structure. So I think you guys are actually getting the better version.
Oh, okay.
It's already out in Australia. It's done pretty well.
All right. Well, good deal. So you mentioned, was it Sisters of the Fire was the second one?
Yeah, and they're both already out in France as well, apparently.
When do you think we're going to get the second one in the States?
I'm not sure. I guess it'll depend on how the first one goes. So tell everybody to buy one for themselves and multiple copies for friends.
Absolutely. That's why you're on right now. So
it makes a great gift.
Oh, definitely. Now, let me ask you kind of a fun question. So I understand that you are a Marvel fangirl.
Oh, I'm such a Marvel fangirl.
That's awesome. So I'm a huge Marvel fan too, and my host Dave is the DC guy. So we're always, at loggerheads over that. So what did you think about Black Panther?
Oh, it was amazing. It was so cool. It was so very cool. Because, it could have gone so horribly wrong.
Yeah,
but it was, it was in terms of being an intelligent, sophisticated, nuanced story, but also still hitting all of those marks, the action and the special effects and the real punch in the heart at the end, just fantastic. I loved it.
Awesome. So I'm guessing that you're excited for Infinity War that's coming out real soon. Any speculation on your part?
Any speculation on my part? I just wonder if they're going to be able to give everybody the screen time they deserve, because they've got a lot of superheroes now. I guess I'm a little bit worried about it because like the one that I've loved the most recently is the Thor Ragnarok, which was just one of my favorite films of all time, went all the way towards the top of my list. But they're able to do that because they're just focusing on a couple of characters. I'm a bit worried about putting them all in if it's going to be messy. But hopefully it'll be sort of brilliantly messy and spectacular.
Well, they're in 18 films so far. They've done pretty darn good. I think they're in good hands. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. They seem to have got the levity right. You know what I mean? There's a lightness of touch at Marvel Studios, I think. There's only been a few that have been duds, really, or not even duds, but have just sort of been a little bit, heavy-handed, right? Which is, I guess, my problem with DC. But I don't want to upset DC fans. But no, they've become a bit turgid over at DC. No, I did like Wonder Woman. That was cool.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Yeah, no, I mean, and I was kind of thinking about that as I was reading the copy of your book. Is Wonder Woman kind of fits that character type. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
All right, well, we are getting close to a commercial break. So if you would tell our listeners out there, how can folks find you out on the net, keep up with all of your stories, find your previous books?
Well, I do have a webpage, www.kimwilkins.com, which I should probably be on more, but, I'm writing. And I do have a Facebook page. If they just Google up Kim Wilkins Facebook, they should be able to find it. But mostly I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as Hexabart, Hexebart, who is a character in one of my previous books. But you should be able to find some more about me and lots of pictures of my chihuahuas on those forums.
All right. Well, Kim, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show.
Thanks so much.
All right, gang, stay tuned. When we get back from these short commercial messages, we'll close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Straight out of Gotham, crazy mother named Two-Face. Check the clock, put the cash in a suitcase. Flip a coin and choose, you know I never lose. Bruce Wayne be wearing concrete shoes. Same thing goes for
CypherCon, Lake Charles, Louisiana's premier pop culture convention, returns to the Lake Charles Civic Center April 6th through the 8th. Celebrity guests include Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13, Gigi Edgley from Farscape, and so many more. Concerts, gaming, panels, vendors, an artist alley, charity auction, fan party, cosplay contest, and a Friday night pub crawl. For more information, go to CypherCon.org. That's CYPHACON.org. CypherCon, April 6th through the 8th at the Lake Charles Civic Center.
Are you looking for a unique gift or geeky item? Then look no further than Silverblatt Design. They offer unparalleled etched logos in glass or stainless steel from your favorite fandoms. Silverblatt Design etches on pint glasses, tumblers, shot glasses, flasks, and more. Having trouble finding a particular logo? Silverblatt Design does custom work and gets you exactly what you're looking for. Professional attitude, great customer service, and high-quality products are available now at Silverblatt Design. Find them on Facebook or Etsy and place your order today.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Belle Chase Highway today.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
This March 16th through the 18th, CoastCon marks its 41st annual science fiction, fantasy, and gaming convention in Mississippi's Gulf Coast Coliseum in Biloxi. CoastCon is the longest-running and largest convention in Mississippi. Enjoy 3 days of gaming, costumes, shopping, and guest panels with such amazing guests like Bryce Papenbrook from Attack on Titan and New York Times bestselling author Sherilyn Kenyon of the Dark Hunters series. For more information, go to coastcon.org or check out their Facebook page. CoastCon, March 16th through the 18th. Don't miss it.
This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Follow them on Twitter at TWIG Radio. Do it now.
Welcome back. This is The Week in Geek. I'm your host, D Squared with
Brian Held.
All right, man, you ready to do a little, you know what? No, stop the presses, Brian.
What?
As always, we want to strongly urge you to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio. And the Instagram's The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to catch your favorite part again, you can always find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, the iHeartRadio app, and at WRNO.com.
Now, Spotify, we're still working on that, right? But, you know, they're going public.
Are they?
Yeah, they're actually, they're going to, I don't know when they're selling shares. I don't know. All I know is that the article said they're going public. So,
okay.
You know.
We'll see how it goes.
Exactly. All right, let's, you ready?
Yes.
Go!
This week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by CoastCon. When is the date, Brian?
That's March 16th through 18th at the Gulf Coast Coliseum in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Absolutely. And for more information, go to coastcon.org.
Yes.
All right, Brian, let's do this shindig.
All right. First item on my list is February 26th, 1977. Is the first appearance of 2000 AD, a weekly British science fiction-oriented comic book. Are you familiar with this, Dave?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So it was like heavy metal, but in England, right, called 2000 AD. Why it's important is that's what gave us Judge Dredd.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
I see where you went with that.
Yeah, so also other notables were Rogue Trooper, Strontium Dog, and the ABC Warriors were regular strips that were in that magazine. Yeah, I've read a few of them. They're great. I love it.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
is it available on the internets?
It absolutely is. You
can send me a link later.
I will. All right.
What's next?
Let's see if you can guess this one. All right, February 27th, 1998. Directed by Alex Proyas, starring Rufus Sewell, Kiefer Sutherland, Richard O'Brien, Jennifer Connelly, and
it's
William
got to be
Hurt.
Lost Boys.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Who's Richard O'Brien?
I don't know.
He was Riff Raff in Rocky Horror.
Okay.
The movie is Dark City.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
Wait, no, maybe is that the one where like it was like a fake city or something like that?
It was a city floating in space, and they had this whole race of alien creatures who kept it never moved out of night because
right.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, I didn't like that movie.
Oh, I love that movie. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think I made it through the whole movie. Like I was just like, this is just weird, and I walked off.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great movie.
All right.
Next item on my list is for our boy Paul, our merchandise manager.
Merchy Marchafava?
Yes, that guy.
The merch man.
Yes, February 28th, 1885. The American Telephone and Telegraph Company is incorporated in New York State as a subsidiary of the American Bell Telephone. That would be AT&T.
Yes. They had a monopoly.
They did.
My dad used to work for AT&T.
I used to work for Lucent Technologies.
Shut up.
Yes.
Look at that. See, everybody has a phone, so that's a great business to be in. Who doesn't have a phone?
Yeah, well,
don't get me started on the cell phone companies, man. Ugh.
Okay, let's not then. All right, on March 1st, 1991, Neverwinter Nights was the first multiplayer online role-playing game to display graphics. It ran from 91 to 97 on AOL.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't remember that, but I remember I played the loving hell out of Baldur's Gate.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was the early PC edition. It had like 8 discs.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was just obscene how much it was. And I remember playing it on one of my ex-girlfriend's computer at one time. And it's just like, she's like, what is this? It takes up half my memory for the game, for my computer. I'm like, well, it's a fun game. She's like, take it off. I'm like, okay, that's it. We're done, baby.
Oh,
I'm out of here.
I couldn't cheat to win on that game.
You what?
I tried to cheat to beat the game. I got to the very end.
Who are you?
I couldn't. I'm serious. Like, I played that final fight like 30, 40 times. I could not.
How young were you? You say, you tried to cheat?
I just wanted to finish the game.
I don't know you.
I just wanted to, and even when I cheated, it didn't help.
Cheaters never win.
The game
Cheaters
still
never prosper.
beat me. Oh, yeah. No, that was, I had to configure, I didn't have the auto pauses configured correctly.
Oh,
Remember
yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So once I configured it, it was like 2 seconds, the final one. All right.
What's next?
March 2nd, 1933. RKO Radio Pictures Incorporated premieres the great granddaddy of all monster movies, King Kong.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah. So it's funny, we referencing Rocky Horror again. That's the only reason.
RKO.
RKO, yeah.
You know, have you seen Kong Skull Island?
I haven't.
It ain't great, but it ain't bad. I mean, they had some really ridiculous action scenes with Tom Hiddleston in it, and it's like it was this stupid Matrix-esque type of fight, and like, you know, he's got a gas mask on and he's doing these slow-mo rolls. It was just so stupid. I don't know why they put that in there.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody was like, oh, this is gonna look cool. That was probably the worst part of the movie, but otherwise, you know, it was a fun little movie.
Okay.
I mean, and pretty soon we're gonna have Kong versus Godzilla, because
Right.
at the end of the movie it had one of those Marvel type things at the end where you had to stay through the credits.
Okay.
And they basically showed pictures of Gamera and Mothra and Godzilla and Kong.
Nice.
And Rampage is coming out soon, too.
Oh, geez.
You
All right.
want to.
Last item on my list is March 4th, 1974. Atari introduces Quadrapong, and it was also released as an elimination by another company. It was the first game to be released in a cocktail cabinet or a table cabinet. Remember those?
When you sat down to play, like at all the Pizza Huts.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But this
Kids will
first
never
one,
know the joys of that.
I know. But this first one had a curved top, so I guess you couldn't put like
Put a
drinks
drink on it. Yeah, when you put your
Right.
quarters, you put it on and
Yeah,
slide right off.
Right.
Kids today, they'll never know.
I know. All right, you ready for some birthdays?
Yes.
All right. On the 26th, Ed Quinn, he was Nathan Stark in Eureka, if you remember that show.
Yeah, it was on Siffy.
Yes, it was. On the 27th, Adam Baldwin.
The Baldwin brothers, America's national treasure.
Right. He was,
they bombed the Baldwins.
right.
South Park.
He was Jane in Firefly, of course. All right. On the 28th, Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, my God. Is it the Jafar! Eat your crackers!
Right. I just can't get it out of my mind, him reading 50 Shades of Grey. That was
What?
You never seen
No!
that? That is
Oh,
on
my
the internet.
God! Next week's show, Gilbert Gottfried will be reading 50 Shades Darker.
On the 1st, Dirk Benedict. Of course, he was Starbuck in the original Battlestar. He was also Face on the A-Team.
Yes.
Yeah. On the 2nd, Gates McFadden.
Dr. Crusher.
Yes.
I just watched an episode of it last night.
Cool.
She was really, like, in the very first season. I didn't realize how smoking hot she was back then.
Oh, yeah, of course. And on the 3rd, Jessica Claire Timberlake, otherwise known as Jessica Biel.
Oh,
Yes.
the Beals and the Albas. I get them both confused.
Right. So
I would not kick either of them out of bed for crackers.
Jeez, come on, Dave.
All right. So, what's going on next week's show, man?
Next week, our guest is going to be Night Mage, who is the cosplay guest for CoastCon. So we're getting 2 weeks out to CoastCon, guys. Come and see us. We're going to be hanging out, having a great time.
That is crazy, huh?
You're going to be in the match game at CoastCon.
I am?
Yes. You're one of the celebrity, I don't know. You're going to be doing something in there, and you're going to have to help contestants win.
Wow. Okay. I Love Lines with your host, D Squared.
So.
Yeah. All right. I feel like we're missing something else. May 4th. Pencil it down. No, you know what? Write it in ink. May 4th. We got some big plans for the Week in Geek. And Brian, what is May, though? Is there some sort of anniversary or something for us?
Yes, that will be our 5th anniversary on the airwaves.
5 years of stinking up the airwaves. That's awesome.
Yes. So we're going to be throwing a little something for all you guys out there, and pencil it in on May 4th.
Use pen.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Check it out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, all that jazz. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.